Hi, my name is Kathy Sheridan and I'm with Oasis Gym, and we're going to do a little longer yoga session this morning. And so what you'll need is a block, ideally 2 blocks if you have them, and we're going to put one at either end of your mat, and then also a strap. You could use a belt or you could use a bathrobe tie, an extension cord, whatever you've got, and that should work out just fine. So, come on to a seated position. Seated cross-legged, make yourself comfortable. Let me turn this thing on here. There we go. Close your eyes and just take a moment to come here. Right? So just relax. Find your breath. Inhale all the way up, bring your palms together, exhale back to your heart. Set an intention for your practice, so why are you here, what are you trying to do? And then take 3 nice, slow, deep breaths. Inhale all the way up, lace your fingers, press the palms up. And then drop your arm to the floor, turn the other one towards your head and lean over. And we're going to go the other way. Come back to center, lace your fingers. We're going to press it up a second time, lifting through the knuckles of your hands and your fingers. And then drop your palms. Press forward and drop your chin to your chest, sliding your head from side to side, stretching out into your neck. Look up, reach back and hold your fingers. Pull the shoulders back and then drop your chin again. Lift your head up and we're going to stretch it to one side. And then over to the other side. Bring it back to center. You can let go of your fingers and we're going to twist, starting from the ground up. So seat your sit bones down into the ground and then begin to rise up through your spine, sliding your shoulder back behind you. Turn, look out. And then go the other way. Seat, ribs, shoulders, and then your chin. Bring it back to center. We're going to lean forward over your hips a little bit, bringing your hips forward, and then walk your hands out just until you feel a stretch. Right? A couple easy breaths. Come on back up. We're going to switch legs. So other leg goes in front, and then we do it again. Belly first, and then lean out. And then come on back up. Let's come into hands and knees. So, good. We're going to start in child's pose. So with the hands under your shoulders, drop your bottom back towards your heels. Arms reach forward, forehead comes down to the floor. I'm going to take about 2 breaths. Come back up into hands and knees, and let's do puppy. So keeping the hips right over your knees, reach out with both arms and drop your chest to the ground. Walk back up into hands and knees. And we're going to do a little balance. So extend a leg straight back behind you, put the toe down on the ground, and push back through that heel just for a moment so that we stretch into your calf muscle a little bit. And then center your weight between your hands and your knees, lift that leg up so that it's level with your hip, and lift the opposite arm. Pull the belly up towards your spine. And then come back to the ground. Good. Let's do the other side. So, other leg back, toe down, press back through the heel. And then center your weight and lift that leg up. Lift the opposite arm. And your belly's going to lift a little bit. So rather than sinking it to the ground, see if you can't lift a little bit. You're reaching out from the center like a train station. So imagine your hips are a train station. You have a train going north and another train going south. And then come on back to hands and knees. We're going to do a pose, a kneeling half moon, because we're going to do standing half moon in a little bit. So the way that works is we're going to extend a leg back, and then you're going to roll this foot to the floor and roll over so that you're opening up your ribs and your hips, and then lift this arm. So this is a kneeling sidearm balance with a little bit of support from this knee. Half moon, lift the top leg up. So notice that your belly and your ribs and your shoulders are all facing the same direction. We're going to do this standing. And then come back to hands and knees. And let's do the other side. So, other leg back, roll the hips over to the side of your mat, open the ribs first, then lift the arm. All right, now try lifting the top leg. Just like that. Good. Hands come back down. Let's go back into downward dog. Little downward dog. Press the heels into the floor. You can pedal your feet a little bit just to kind of work out the kinks. And then come up on your tippy toes. Push away from the hands and then lower the heels towards the floor. Take a breath. And then walk your feet into a bent knee forward bend. So then walk it in. Bend your knees. Drop your tummy down onto your thighs. Relax your head. Let's come into halfway up. So you're going to straighten your legs and place your hands on your thighs. Push the thighs back and slide your heart forward. Tailbone lifts a little bit so you get a nice stretch in your hamstrings in the back. You can stay here or you can release all the way down into a full forward bend. Relax your head, let it drop to the ground. All right, bring the arms out to the side and then roll all the way back up and then back to your heart. We're going to work with your breath a little bit, just a couple rounds. So inhale, this is Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. So come into your forward bend, whether it's halfway or all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down again. Inhale all the way up. And back to your heart. Good. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to your forward bend. Inhale halfway. Exhale down again. Inhale all the way up. And back to your heart. This time, inhale all the way up. Exhale to your forward bend. Inhale halfway. And step back to plank. All right, in plank, lift your kneecaps, pull the belly up, widen the shoulders. We'll take a breath in plank, also called Phalakasana. And then we're going to come into a sidearm balance. If you like, you can drop a knee, or just roll your hips over to the side and lift the opposite arm. So again, a lot like half moon. Open chest, ribs and hips facing the same direction. And then let's do the other side. So roll the other way. You could drop the other knee down if you'd like a little bit of support. Good. Hands come down to your mat, and we're going to bring your tummy to the floor. So come on down. Point your toes. Lift up to a little cobra to start. So we're just going to drop the shoulders. Sun salutations are intended to be warm-ups, and you don't want to do full-on back bends as part of a warm-up. So we do baby cobras to start, and then go back to downward dog. And take a breath. All right. We're going to step forward a foot. So bring that up towards the front of your mat. If you need to come down to hands and knees first, that's fine. Back leg is straight, knee is lifted. Drop the hips towards the floor. Heart moves forward a little bit. And then let's drop the back knee. Relax the foot. Put your hands on your thighs. Push up and push away, right? Tip your tailbone forward a little bit. Bring your shoulders back. Ribs right over your hips. And then bend this front knee. Arms come down, palms to the front, you lift all the way up. And here's Anjaneyasana. Take a breath. And then hands to your mat. We're going to go back into downward dog. Come forward to plank. Just bring your tummy to the floor. Press up to a low cobra. And then back to downward dog. Let's step forward the other leg. Up to the front of your mat. Take a moment here. Back knee is lifted. Drop the hips. Shoulders moving back behind you. And then drop the back leg. Hands on your thighs, push back. Tip your tailbone forward, shoulders down. Get your alignment. Now bend this knee. Arms down. We're going to turn to the front. You inhale all the way up as if you were holding a big marshmallow, right? Arms shoulder width apart, stretching into your hips. Hands come down to your mat. Tuck your back toe, lift the knee up off the ground. We're going to bring your feet in together. So step in together. As you come in, you lift into halfway up first, and then you fold down. Right. Inhale all the way up, and back to your heart. Moving on, inhale all the way up. Exhale to your forward bend. Inhale halfway. Step back to plank. We're going to come into pose of 8 points, or you can do your tummy to the floor again. Drop your knees, and then chin and chest to the ground. Slide forward, roll up into a cobra, and then back into dog. Walk those feet back in. Come into halfway up and fold down. Inhale all the way up and back to your heart. We're going to do the other side. Inhale all the way up. Exhale down. Inhale halfway. Step back to plank. Drop knees, chin and chest. Roll into cobra and back into dog. Step feet back in. I'm going to do the other leg this time. Feet come in together. I lift into halfway up first, and then I fold down. Inhale all the way up, and back to your heart. Inhale all the way up. Exhale down. Inhale halfway, and back to plank. So this time we're going to do modified chaturanga. Drop your knees, keep the belly lifted, and just bend the elbows a little bit. Right? Then tummy down, up into cobra, or upward facing dog. Back to downward dog. Lift a leg up in the back. You can start with a level hip, or if you're comfortable with it, you can begin to open the hip, lift that leg up a little bit higher. We're going to step forward with that foot. So bring it up to the front of your mat, get your balance, bring the shoulders up, put your hands on your hips. So, standing crescent. Tip your pelvis forward a little bit. Straighten that back leg. Bring the heel over the ball of your foot. Now bend the knee. Good. Arms down, palms to the front, lift all the way up. So this is Ashta Chandrasana, right? 8-point moon pose. Hands come down to your mat. We go back to downward dog. Come forward to plank. Drop the knees, lower halfway down. Tummy down. Into cobra or upward dog. Back to downward dog. Lift the other leg up and back, either level. Open the hip, leg comes up. And then step forward that foot. Get your balance, right? Hands on your hips, pelvis forward, back leg straight, heel over the ball of your foot, bend your front knee, arms down, palms to the front, lift all the way up. Right? Standing crescent. Hands come down to your mat. We're going to go back to downward dog. So you can either walk or you can jump back in. You bend your knees, jump in, straighten your legs, inhale all the way up, and then back to your heart. We got one more. Inhale all the way up. Sit into chair. Palms together, hands at your heart. We're going to add a twist. So just your shoulders, or you can use the back of your hand, or elbow across the knee. Keep your knees even, right? Take a moment. Inhale all the way up. Let's do the other side. Sit to chair. Palms together, hands at your heart. And then the shoulders or the back of your hand or knees even. Okay, inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale halfway. Step back to plank. Either drop your knees or come into Chaturanga Dandasana. Either cobra or up dog. Back to downward dog. Leg up in the back. Step forward to standing crescent. Palms together, hands at your heart. And then do your twist. Shoulders, back of the hand, or elbow across the knee. Back leg is straight. Take a breath. And then hands come down to your mat. Go back to downward dog. Come forward to plank. To chaturanga. To up dog. And back to downward dog. Other leg up and back. Step forward to standing crescent. Get your balance. Come on up. Good. Lift those arms. Bend the front knee. Palms together, hands to your heart. And then twist. Okay. Take a breath or two. Good. Hands come down to your mat. Go back to downward dog. Walk, step, or jump your feet in. Come back into a forward bend. Inhale all the way up. And back to your heart. Good. So if you have, put a block at both ends of your mat. So I've got one there, one here, and we're going to do just a little standing series. And we're going to start in mountain pose. And we're going to come into eagle, Garudasana. So, mountain pose. Tailbone drops, ribs over your hips, relax your shoulders, arms just down at your side. Bring an arm forward and wrap the opposite. Elbows lift a little bit, hands away from your face, and sit into chair. You can keep both feet on the floor or take the outside leg around over the top. You can do toe down or wrap the toes around your standing ankle and come into eagle or Garudasana. Take a breath. So this leg that you wrapped, we're going to unwrap, step back, and turn your feet towards the side of your mat. Outside edges of your feet are parallel. Release your hands and put them on your hips. Roll the shoulders together in the back. We're going to fold halfway down. As you fold, you keep the elbows parallel. You can stay here, or you can drop all the way down, but keep the elbows parallel. Do not allow them to open out to the side. This is Prasarita Padottanasana B. Take another breath. And then inhale up. Bring your arms out to the side, and we're going to turn the foot at the front of your mat. Going to turn it towards the mat. Back foot's going to turn in a little bit, and we come into Warrior Two, so you bend the front knee. Gaze goes forward, down that arm. Move your breath down lower into towards your belly. Feel your feet 100% on the floor. Take another breath. All right, now straighten the front leg. We're going to reach out and then float that extended arm down towards your leg or the floor or towards your block. Right? Open up your ribs and your shoulders towards the ceiling. Front thigh is going to spin to the outside edge of your mat a little bit. If you can, turn it back up. All right. Take the arm towards the ceiling and put it on your hip. Look down at the floor. Bend your front knee, and you're going to take your block, and you're going to take it way out in front of this front foot. Take it out to the front, and then stand on the standing leg. Open your hips, open your ribs, lift the arm, spread your toes. Whoop. Fight for it. Take another breath. And then bend your standing knee, back foot goes down. We're going to come all the way up and then do the other side. So turn your toes to the back of your mat. Bring those arms up. Bend your front knee. Take another couple breaths. Take one more breath. Then straighten your front leg and reach out. Float your extended arm down towards your leg, or the floor, or the block. Open up your ribs. Front thigh is going to spin again to the outside edges of your mat. From here, look down, bring this ceiling arm towards your hip, and bend your front knee. Take your block, scoot it way out in front of that foot, straighten your standing leg, open the hips, lift the arms. Here's your half move. Take another breath. Now bend your standing knee, bring that back foot down. Come all the way up and walk your feet together. Okay, so we're going to come down towards the floor. Right? And what we're going to do is we're going to vinyasa down to downward dog and do a little pigeon pose just for a good stretch. So inhale all the way up. Exhale down. Inhale halfway. And then back to downward dog. Nice and easy. Okay. So let's do some plank pull-ins before we come into pigeon. Bring a knee in towards your chest, and then come forward to plank, and just let that leg hover above the floor a little bit. Push back and lift that leg up. Good. Do it again. Bring it in, and then take it back. One more time. Bring it in, and you're going to bring it towards the wrist on that side. Touch the wrist with your knee and put the leg on the ground. Slide the opposite leg back. Come on down to your elbows just for a moment. Take a few breaths. Support your hip if you need to. We want our hips parallel to the floor. And we're just going to take a few breaths. Support your upper body to make this comfortable. If you can put your forehead on your arms if you want. You can bring your chest all the way down to the ground. You can stay on your elbows, or even have a block with your elbows on it. And just take a few more breaths. We'll just take a couple. Alrighty, so let's do the other side. So hands support your chest as you walk your chest back up, tuck the back toe, go back to downward dog. Okay, let's do the other side. So bring the opposite knee in towards your chest, come forward to plank, and then push back and lift up. And then do it again, bring it in. And then back. And then bring it in, touch that wrist with your knee, slide the other leg back, come on down, and find a position where you feel a nice stretch. It should not hurt, it should feel comfortable, it should not feel dangerous. And take easy breaths here. One more breath. And then let's come up. We're going to sit on the bent knee side and just bring your legs around to the front. So come up to the front of your mat. We're going to do a twist. If your knees don't like being bent a great deal, then just come to seated cross-legged. That'll work just fine. Otherwise, come to hands and knees. So here we are in hands and knees. Take the toes of one foot and put them in the arch of the other foot. We're going to sit back and then sit on that arch side. So just drop your, sit on the other side. There we go. There we go. Notice that one leg, the foot's pointed straight back behind you, so you're getting a big stretch in this ankle. On that side, bring that arm forward with the palm facing out, and you're going to tuck the palm underneath your thigh and kind of sit on it a little bit so you're sitting up nice and tall. All right? So you stay there. I'm going to turn around a little bit so this makes a little more sense. Here we go. So here we are. Arm forward, palm out. Tuck it underneath a little bit. You're going to get a stretch through your hand. Sit up as tall as you can, and you're going to twist to that side. And then just your head goes to the other side. You can stay here with your hand on the floor supporting on your body, or bring the hand around your back waist. And we'll just take a few breaths here. And then gently relax. Let's do the other side. So either stay seated cross-legged or come back to hands and knees. Switch toes. So now my other toe's in the arch of my other foot. I'm going to drop over to the side, away from this foot that's on the ground. On that side, that arm's going to come forward, palm facing out. Tuck the hand underneath your thigh. Twist the chest towards that side. And then just your head goes the other direction. Same thing, arm comes around the back waist if you can, or you can leave it here. You can rest it on a block if that makes it more comfortable. And take a couple breaths. And then gently let go. Sit on your bottom. So let's do some boat, and then we'll do Purvottanasana, and then we'll do a forward bend, Paschimottanasana. So to start in boat, we're going to lean back and bring your palms to the floor. Roll your shoulders together, lift the heart so your back is long. Bring the knees into your chest. Lift the heels up, flex your feet, press the palms forward. So here's modification for boat, or straight legs, straight arms. Take a breath. Bring the legs down to the floor. Once again, lean back on the palms of your hands. roll your shoulders together and lift your heart up. If you want, you can stay here with your bottom on the floor or lift up. Take a breath. Bring it back to the ground. Come forward. Flex your feet. Arms come up. And then they come forward. Pull the shoulders back into the socket and then come into a forward bend that works for you. So bring your belly forward, then release the hands. If you're comfortable with it, you can drop all the way down. And then gently roll back up. We're going to do that set one more time. So here we go. Lean back. Open the heart. Knees in into modified or full boat. Take a breath. Legs come down. Palms come back to the floor. Lean back. Open up across your chest. Right? Give your lungs room to move. Stay here or lift up. And the bottom comes down. Let's do one more forward bend. Straighten your legs, flex your feet, arms come up. Come forward. Open up across your chest and then lean out. Another breath. And then gently roll up. Good. Let's do a twist. Bring a knee into your chest. If you want, you can stay here with a long leg and your hips facing forward. Or take this bent leg and hop it over the bottom one. You can stay here. Or take your long heel and bring it back towards the opposite hip. You sit as nice and tall as you can. We're going to start with a hug. So I'm going to hug this knee, bring my other arm to the floor, lift up, twist. Depending on how you're built, you might be comfortable bringing your arm to the outside. Just watch the tension in the shoulder. Another breath. And then come back to center. Let's do the other side. Legs straight. That opposite knee comes in and you can stay here. Or hop it over. You can stay here. Or heel towards the opposite hip. Nice and tall. Right. We're going to give that knee a hug. Begin your twist here. Or same thing. If you're comfortable, you can bring the arm to the outside as long as you don't lose your twist and collapse into your spine. Right? So we're just going to keep it nice and tall. And then gently come back to the front. Extend your legs out. Lie down, bring the knees into your chest and give a nice squeeze. Keep the right knee into your chest, drop your left leg to the floor. We're going to take the right toe and touch your left knee, and then twist that knee over to the left side of your mat. If you can, circle your right arm past your hip, past your face, and out to the side. Turn and look at that palm if possible. Another breath. And let's roll back to center and we'll do the other side. So knees come back in. Then keep the other knee in. Drop the leg to the ground. Touch your long knee with your toe. And then twist over to the side. Let's do a big circle. Circle that arm around. Open up across your chest into your shoulder. Turn your head. One more breath. Come back to center. Let's do happy baby. Ananda Balasana, so you're going to bring the knees to your chest. The knees open wider than your ribs, and your shins come up perpendicular to the ceiling. You flex your feet. You can hold on to the back of your knees to pull them down to the floor, or you grab the outside edges of your feet and encourage the knees to drop to the ground alongside your ribs. Tailbone pushes into the ground, relax through your shoulders. If you've been doing yoga for a while and you feel pretty comfortable, you can try extending one leg in this pose. Just get a nice stretch here. And come back and then do the other leg. And come back. And then hold on to the back of your knees and roll up for a second. So we're going to come down into Shavasana, but I wanted to point out something. The idea of Shavasana is to do nothing, right? You're not supposed to be insightful. Don't even try and relax. You just be, right? And it's important that you're comfortable. For some of us, what we'll do is that we'll get support for our head, and we'll do support under our knees because it feels really good. Right? So we'll do something like this. Right? So that your knees are bent, maybe have a bolster here, and then we relax. Which is fine. If this brings you comfort and helps prevent pain, then rock on, keep going. However, I would like to encourage you to use the floor to assist in your posture. When you support your head like this, you tip it forward and the upper back rounds up. Your knees are bent and the hip flexors shorten, right? So just like this. If I were to take this posture and do it standing, it would look like this. Head forward, shoulders rounded, knees bent on my phone, right? So this is kind of a problem that we're fighting most of the time. And what's nice about Shavasana and using the floor is it gives you an opportunity to overcome that, if you can do it comfortably. So, if it's possible, try lying down with your head on the ground and legs straight, arms down. Right? Again, only do this if it feels comfortable and you can manage. Right? The whole idea is to encourage this nice elongated posture to make your movement efficient and without stress. So, second thing too, before you sail off into Shavasana, especially in this time with the COVID pandemic and all that stuff, at the end of Shavasana, most classes will say something like, take 3 breaths and then slowly roll to your side and come up. Or they'll start with move your toes, move your fingers, and gently come out of Shavasana. The idea is that you are, stop that. The benefit that you get in Shavasana, you want to keep that as you begin to move back into your world. So that sense of relaxation, that sense of calm, we want to take that with us as we sit back up and get ready to go about our day. In this COVID shelter-in-place thing, you may find that there's aspects of it that actually feel really good. For a lot of it, it is stressful, it is painful, it is financially threatening, it's awful. But there may be elements of it that you have embraced, spending more time reading, spending more effort to talk to people that you love. And that's something that you might want to keep and take with you as we eventually move out of this crisis and back to regular life. As you lie down for Shavasana, enjoy your Shavasana, be there, and when we begin to come out with the idea of taking the benefit with you. See that as a metaphor for overcoming this crisis, and as we move back into our life, taking whatever we've learned with us as a benefit as we move back in. So, lie down, enjoy your Shavasana for as long as you like. Thank you so much for checking in, and I look forward to seeing you in person someday soon. Namaste.